The following podcast may contain strong language. Listener discretion is advised.
Hello, and welcome to Hallmark of Greatness Last Orders, the podcast where we look back into the films our Hallmark favourite actors and directors would rather forget that they were ever involved with. I'm Joe, and with me as always, the smoothest man in all of New Jersey, it's Jimmy Muscles!
Yeah. I was going to go with the sleeves thing, but I can't do that now. I'm allowed sleeves. They cover up the muscles, but
And king of the camel-based pratfall and former child star, it's Mark!
I fell off my camel.
Oh, mate.
Man, I just want
We've
to
got
punch
to keep
myself so much.
keep a reference into it every single episode.
My mum was like, "Oh, we had all videos of your school plays and stuff." My dad threw them away because, like, when everything got DVD'd, he just binned everything. And I'm like, I hope there's video footage of Mark as a precocious child doing his own song and dance routine in the nativity. Like,
It was a coal mining village in the mid-80s. There was nobody had that kind of money.
no, there was just a
Was it
man
a fundraiser?
sketching it. But if you want to keep up to date with upcoming film choices and that, you can follow us on Twitter at Hallmark of Great, all one word, or you can find us on Instagram and Facebook at Hallmark of Greatness. Or if you are a former Saturday afternoon TV star who is now a big, mad, wrinkly fascist and wants to recommend a film to us, you can email us at hallmarkofgreatness@gmail.com.
Please do.
Yeah, because Christ. This is the last in the half Christmas, Junemas, whatever we were calling it. And I believe, Mark, this was recommended by followers of your podcast.
People that pay me money.
Yeah, clearly hate you.
I'm going to go and throw those coins at them. They can keep the stinking quid.
Like Maundy money, but violent.
Yeah.
We are, of course, talking about (2013's) Alone for Christmas, or Bone Alone,
Which I prefer.
I
thought it was a completely different film.
Isn't that what Pee Wee
Try and be a
Herman got
married
arrested
Jake, you
for?
don't have a choice.
Yeah, it's a film? Question mark. But before we get into the whole meat and potatoes of this, let us fire up the synopsis, Matron.
Oh yeah, smell that Christmassy goodness. That is the starry future reindeer of the baby Jesus. And it's still on holiday, but we've let it sort of pitch in a bit to what we were doing last time. Fully on board now. So it thought Alone for Christmas 2013 is about Holly, a spirited young girl who is left alone in her German village during the final days of World War II. One snowy Christmas Eve, she discovers a hidden treasure chest containing a mysterious ornament. Little does she know that the ornament possesses magical powers that transport her back in time to meet Larry Christmas, a kind-hearted toy maker from the early 20th century. Together, like a few decades before, together they embark on an enchanting adventure, spreading joy and hope to war-weary souls and teaching the world that the true magic of Christmas lies within the hearts of those who believe.
Oh, again, infinitely better than whatever the hell this is. The actual synopsis for Alone at Christmas. When a family visits Grandma's house on Christmas Eve, they leave their dog at home alone. And then when burglars try to take their presents from under the tree, the dog must use every trick it knows to stop them.
Yeah, you see, that frames it in a much more convenient way than it actually is.
Yeah.
Listen,
It's just a clunky turd.
We've got to drag this out over 90 minutes. And
We've got to give this dog some things to pick up.
yes. I mean, Christ, I don't even know where to start with this.
Well, there's a fundamental problem with this film is that it's either for very small children or people recovering from serious brain injuries.
Or
And so
sadists.
it's very... I feel bad poking fun at it because it is like, it's not a film. It's just like a bunch of twigs and sticks and stones that a bird has like made in the shape of a film. You know,
It's like that picture of the pigeon that's just got a twig and it's like, that's my nest. Yeah, I mean,
all I can do is just lay out the facts of what this film is.
We open with establishing shots of a house I think I honestly can't remember. All I remember is like
there's
the
a-
violence that this dog wrought upon these children.
It's got a Game of Thrones style cold open, isn't it? On
The
this dog-
asylum, and then I just went, "Oh, what have I done?"
Yeah, there's a dog that appears later on in the summer house scene, if you will.
That's Cupcake.
Is that Cupcake?
That's
I knew it was named,
Cupcake.
but I just didn't
Cupcake
bother
is
to write
fucking
it down.
stupid. I've written here.
Go on.
That's all I've got. That's all I've got. I can't
Oh,
remember.
is
Cupcake
that the
watches
dog?
some men go by. He's like, "Oh, there's a bone here." The bone works every time.
Yes, there's a bone outside the gate, and then it gets its head stuck getting the
Yeah.
bone or
And what was the
something.
bone from? Like a T-Rex or something?
It's just a
What
cow
else?
bone, I think, isn't it? I don't know. I don't know. Let's stop.
You're not bone expert.
Yeah. And there's 3 bad slags in black who smell of body spray and fish.
Fish, yeah.
Who
Sounds like my
that's links for
teenage
you.
years.
Yeah.
are burglarizing this house, having distracted the dog, who is like a bulldoggy sort of thing.
Yeah, he's
The only redeeming thing about this is the dogs, I will say, because dogs in a
but-
film is always good.
I was thinking it's not the one in the poster, and none of them ever are. I don't know where this
No,
dog's come
no,
from.
the dog in
I'm
the poster.
assuming the dogs in the poster are just generic dogs. Like they just went, we're not paying we're not paying a photographer to come in and film the stars of this. Hooligan and Torpedo. They're real names.
They steal from this house, and then the dog is like just does a looks like I'm in the doghouse again. Wah, wah, wah.
Yeah, and then
And then we get the title animation.
Ooh, now, Chevy Chase, the National Lampoon people are famously litigious. So I'm hoping that somewhere at the asylum, somebody has been sent to the poorhouse for this. Because this is the biggest Christmas Vacation ripoff titles I've ever seen.
It's an animation depicting what can only be described as multiple table-based shenanigans. It's
animation.
Dogs famously love table.
Animation in the worker and parasite like loosest possible terms.
Eastern Europe's favourite dog opening titles.
Yeah, it gave like he said National Lampoons and like the Drop Dead Fred opening sequences, as in like it was kind of animated, but like they couldn't be bothered doing the bits in between, so everyone's kind of jerky and weird.
So it's the family all through the year doing different things, including Christmas, and there's always something on the table, and the dog always rushes past, and another dog is just sat there as something crashes, and then it gets blamed. Which is the theme of the film.
This is Bone and Columbus. I'm assuming it's supposed to be. Bone is an older dog, and what was he called?
Columbus is part of a new naming convention that they've gone with.
Yes, it was like we can't just name him after parts of the human body anymore. After Tadger died, and but so Columbus is like the tearaway one, and Bone is like the wise old Morgan Freeman of the dog world, I would say. But yeah, this is the opening sequence, and it's to show you that they live in a house,
a very large house.
Not in the country.
No,
it is with 3 fucking garages. What do they do for a living?
And the stairs from the Titanic as well. It seems like.
Yeah.
Keeping it topical. And yes, we get to see their house and the dogs do that horrible animated mouth talking.
Yeah, human mouths animated onto dog mouths kind of thing. Oh, it's disgusting.
It's like that cats and dogs film, but somehow worse, even though the technology is better.
This is. I would make these dogs live in the bathroom. If I had dogs that talked and had these mouth movements, they would live in. In fact, they'd live under the fucking house.
They'd be in a bag in the canal with an ice brick.
That is what they're threatened with later on, which I thought was really dark. But yeah.
That's the bit you had problems with, not them murdering humans.
Columbus, the young scrappy one, they love, and Bone they fucking hate and despise.
He's old, mate. Everyone hates old things.
Yeah, they were all asleep in the morning, and Columbus hears an irritating noise, goes to investigate, and rips open a present. It's got an annoying doll in it that's crying "Mama," and
Little
suddenly
Tina shats herself.
family walking in.
She's not got farts in her head anymore.
And Bone is the one that's in trouble, even though
Yeah, for some reason,
Both
Bone
dogs were
gets
there.
a load
but
of
yeah.
tinsel wrapped around him, and they're like, Bone, fucking Bone.
Tinsel, every dog's nemesis.
No, no, you find it in their tods, don't you? Because they just eat it. That's my experience.
Oh yeah,
anyway.
you'll get Tammy shits back or
You
whatever. it's
get
called.
you get
Tammy
poop,
farts.
poop on a rope. Yeah,
This is the bit where I've written, is this dubbed like a Sergio Leone film? Every actor from a different country? Because nothing matched the subtitles. And I realised it's probably because I was watching it on a much faster speed than I should have been.
yeah. Also, it is on YouTube if you really want to go and watch it, but it has adverts every 5 minutes or
Oh,
so.
I got some adverts for you later on,
Oh
boys.
Christ!
Is it
You
that
know
Idris
how upset I
Elba
get
one?
about adverts.
Over and over again.
But so they announced that they're going to Grandma's house and they can't take Bone because he will kill Grandma.
She's
one
really frail.
dog-based
and fragile.
mishap away from death.
But they never mention Grandpa, and as we later discover later in the film, it's probably because he's really busy at Christmas.
What, selling meth to other bikers? He's the grodiest looking Father Christmas I've ever seen.
By the way, Mum's on the treadmill in her pajamas here. Who does the treadmill in pajamas?
I guess if you get it up, it saves you having to have a wash again. But yeah, it must
be like
weird.
9 o'clock in the morning as well.
But so yeah, they're going to Grandma's for Christmas. Also, the little kid in this wants putting in a bag and dropping in the canal as well. Yeah. Worst Christmas ever. Yeah. You're adopted.
I'm on the phone here.
Who is he talking to on the phone?
He's not even talking to anyone on the phone. It's just a bit the whole time.
No, but like, he's what, 7? Who do you know at 7 years old?
Probably his grandma. It could have all been resolved if he'd just mentioned his grandma where the dog was.
Possibly.
It'd be even funny if it was that, because most of the time he's like, fucking morons in this house.
Your daughter's a fucking slattern. And so, yeah, they say, we're going to take Bone and put him in kennels, but Columbus is allowed to come with us, despite the fact that Columbus is the more rambunctious of the dogs.
Yeah.
But they love him because he's small and cute.
The little girl, I think, says those places are like prisons. He'll get shanked. Jesus Christ. Someone's sharpening the end of a bone or something.
As the first sort of proper scene in this film, I thought, I know where I'm at with this film. And
but
boy, did it prove me wrong.
I still don't, like you said, I still don't understand who it's for, because it's incredibly violent. Not like comedy, like pratfall violence, like murder violence. Like, Bone the dog. You can see why they don't love him, and they see why they won't take him to Grandma's house. He's putting stuff on the stairs, roller skates, all kinds of stuff like that. Trying to.
He's done it before.
He's
big time.
Like there's that legendary guide dog that killed 3 of its owners by leading them into traffic, like that sort of thing. I think that's what Bone was. So
this is why they don't want Bone anywhere near Grandma.
Yeah.
Although, because she's left all her money to Bone in the will.
Messed around with the stair lift, like in Gremlins, yeah.
More Gremlins references later. There's a bit where it's like, you can have more eggnog, you can have more eggnog. She's like, yay, eggnog, yay, eggnog, yay, eggnog. What's eggnog? I was like, shut up. It's a poor man's advocate. Get out.
Yeah, it's eggy goodness. They only have it, then they take it away. So they pack the car up, and they...
There's a UPS man that comes to the door just before that, though.
Yeah. Non-union Chris O'Dowd. He's delivering the mail.
A non-union me.
Yes, I'm also wait, is it James?
But yeah, Chris O'Dowd.
Is this your secret shame?
I had to make money as a student.
Do you want to be in a film with talking dogs? I'll make you a star. Okay.
I don't remember Lee Mack saying that to me. But, yeah, he comes to the door. He does act like a creep. I thought it was just bad acting at first. No,
because he's like, oh, someone's been a good girl. This looks expensive. And I'm like, give me my parcel and fuck off, mate.
But she is quite nice, the mother. She's like, oh, well, look, here, have a Christmas gift from us. Oh, no, I can't accept a gift. Yeah, but you took my fucking donation, though, didn't you, James? Eh? Yeah. Whatever. I did look into this. Sorry to do James facts.
No, go on.
All postal employees, including... No, James. All postal employees, including carriers, must comply with the standards of the ethical conduct for employees of the executive branch, whatever that means. Under these federal legislations, carriers are permitted to accept a gift worth $20 or less from a customer per occasion, such as Christmas.
Oh, okay.
There you go. So he's a lion. I mean, it obviously doesn't even work there. So.
Yeah, he's like, I'll get that later.
Because the American postal system is part of the federal government, and it's a federal agency anyway, isn't it? After Jack Donga in Brooklyn Nine-Nine. We know that. So, yeah. And then, he walks back to the post van, and there's these two fucking guys in it. One who looks,
non-union Ethan Embry and non-union Tommy from Trainspotting.
That's who it is. Yes, I was trying to think who it was. I was like, someone from Trainspotting. Yeah, they're opening up letters in the back of the van, which we all know postmen do. Prove me wrong,
Ding, ding, ding,
postmen.
ding, ding.
And they're
Anniversary.
opening fucking everything.
Yeah,
like, no
which
matter
is-
what it is.
So have they stole this post van, or is he just?
Well, I was wondering about that because the mum knows him. Like, they've obviously been doing the round for a while to get that level of familiarity. Otherwise, why would she be handing over like a donation of some sort? Oh, by the way, it's not a donation for him, but to a dog shelter of their
The
choice.
Fluffy Friends
Oh yeah,
charity.
yeah. We discover later. Like,
I love
what?
that. When somebody just gives me money for a charity of their choosing.
Yeah, when I
Buying a
bought
chicken
that-
in Nigeria.
Yeah, when I
Thanks.
bought that goat for the Nigerian family, I wanted some part ownership of that goat every other
You
weekend.
wanted some cheese sent every
Yeah,
3
summer.
weeks in the post.
But they open it. They've got like $10 and a stick of gum and a gift card for not Chuck E. Cheese but Chunky Cheese, because obviously we can't use brand names apparently. But we can
Chunky cheese is the only cheese guaranteed to please.
use- cottage cheese is basically chunky cheese, isn't
It
it?
is, yeah. It's also got ties to voodoo.
It does. And they're like, "Oh, we're not going to go and do whatever it was we're going to do. We're going to burgle this house because they're going away now." And
Yeah,
we're
she's
like,
helpfully
"Oh,
said that they're going away for a week. This becomes like a couple of days at some point. It becomes 6 days later on. Nobody's quite sure how long they'll be at Grandma's house because she's
But they
clinging to
don't.
life, to be honest.
no," because in a bit when they're in the car, she says, "We're only 4 hours away from Grandma's house." So, like, all this happens within the space of a day.
Yeah.
Now I think about it, it does. It all happens, I would say, within 12 hours, to be fair. They don't hang about. And they've also robbed the house in daylight, which is stupid, but whatever. Yeah, so they're loading, they're in the car, they drive away. They've locked everything up. They do did we lock the back door thing? But nobody cares because it doesn't matter.
But they have left the gas on.
and a ladder and an open window right near each other. So
Mm.
again, they've clearly never watched that public information video where it's like, if you have a ladder, make sure it is secured. Yeah. And they drive to this, I want to say kennels, but Madman's house.
It's just a bungalow, isn't it?
There's no sets here. There's just houses. I've recently bought a book on guerrilla filmmaking, and I think that's what they've done. They've just gone, quick, can we just not guerrilla film making? That would be very
like Congo. Yeah. Meet Amy. This terrible film.
Oh wow! Wow reference.
Yeah. They arrive at this guy's house and he's chasing a dog around and then falls over in some dog shit. And he's like, I'm just covered in dog shit. And I was like, yeah, I'm just going to go because this is terrible.
Yeah. It's also like they've not green screened anything properly around the car or whatever it was they're going to do. So when they're stepping in and out of the car, it's like Silent fucking Hill outside and it's just white everywhere. And then they step out and it's like perfect daylight. And
So if the radio starts crackling.
It's like the beginning. It's like the very last scene in The Mist when he's murdered his whole family.
Oh,
Gets
if he
out.
did, start with that kid first.
Oh, please.
Like the daughter's
he
not
takes
so
a
bad,
moment
but-
to talk about his sister. He goes, like, I care about Little Miss Wet myself. It's like, oh, you're a cunt. I'm like, I hope you go into the mist first.
But it's like, oh, we've got a driver. We've got to leave the dog. Thingy, worst Christmas ever.
Okay.
Get it? You got a catchphrase. It's a terrible one. But this guy that I don't even know whether he had a name in it.
Anthony Anderson, but his friends call him Triple A.
Oh, that
To
was
which
it.
Dad says, "What's the other A for?" And he doesn't say, "That's a typo." But it would be funny if he did.
No, it was quite a good joke because he goes, "Huh?" Like he doesn't understand it.
Yeah.
It's because he's on all the meth, from what I can tell. Either that or he's in the middle of a fucking breakdown.
Yeah, this
Yes.
house.
Yeah.
I was having
house is-
palpitations just watching him.
So he goes, okay, well, let's go in. He offers him his hand and he says no because it's covered in shit. They go in and like there's just dogs running around the place.
Like,
Like,
it's like 9 dogs.
just running around. Like there's no run for them to go and poop in. So you know it stinks in there as well.
Yeah.
And he's like, no, Dad, he's called, he doesn't get a name, is like, yeah, we're not going to stay here. And he goes, I'll give you $10 off. And he goes, yeah, but that's not the issue, is it? You're clearly going through something here. And he goes, $30. And he goes, no. And then he goes, $6.
$6.
And I'm like, is this The Apprentice? Feels like haggling in The Apprentice.
And he goes, look, I don't know how this works. I've got problems or something, doesn't he, at this point? And he's like, oh, well, I'll let you.
One of them
closing on the house. And
one of them rooms in the back is just full of sacks of human hair and jars of piss. Like,
he's also got CCTV that he claims proves that he's on TV. And his brother sends him tapes of it. And I was like, what is going on with this man?
Later, we briefly watched it on the iPad.
Yes.
So that's the deal breaker, because they can watch the
dog getting buggered by him,
getting shanked. Oh, but then it could be like Blood Fist 3 or whatever it was called, where he has to fight in the racist prison. See the previous episode about that. That's the one that made us stop watching Blood Fist films.
And the fact that we can't find Future Kick.
Yeah, to be fair, Punch Kicker. All the other dogs are allowed to run around, and they're all doing voices, sausages and stuff like that, right? And then for some reason, Bone gets put in dog solitary, in an oubliette. It's
he's Steve McQueen.
Yeah, they put him in a room, and there's like a chihuahua in there that thankfully doesn't have a very racist accent. It's only a little bit racist.
Because at the start I wrote, I'm not entirely convinced by this, but then a little bit later on I was like, is he meant to be Christopher Walken?
Oh, I never got
Christopher
that.
Walken about it. It was like, I got a fever, and the only solution is more Bonio.
They put this thermometer up my ass. And I didn't pick up on this. There's another dog in the oubliette, and it's Cupcake.
Cupcake, yeah.
You watched this twice, remember?
Mate, I was not paying attention to it at all. And he's in there, and he's angry at himself, but also at the world. And he's lost his bite, and his family are punishing him by putting him here. Yeah. And I was like, this is a bit dark for a fun kids film.
But he mentions and this is a very important plot point. This is how Bone figures it out, because he says,
Bone!
These men drove around in a van, wore black, and smelt of deodorant and fish or whatever. And this is where Bone goes, I know that smell. Were they such and such? Men that smell of fish. So I made a list of men that possibly smell of fish. Michael Fish, David Soul, and Private Pike from Dad's Army.
Jesus Christ. What about Goldie, the R&B star? The drum and bass guy.
Are we not talking about Nicola Sturgeon anymore?
Oh, very good.
There we go. Right. I don't want to carp on about it.
Anyway, speaking of back to Hollyoaks,
Alex Salmon.
Bone says that he wants to do something. He can't call 911. There's no phone in the room, and we don't have thumbs. And then there's
a dog.
And there's a dudum after that.
I thought I'd had a stroke, because I was certain I'd imagined that. I'm so glad that I didn't write it down.
It's there.
Because I was certain it didn't happen. I thought, no, the cat's knocked something over in the other room.
It's a carbon monoxide leak.
They follow this up by never doing sound effects or little bits ever again in the film.
Because he literally turns to camera and goes, wink. It's such an odd breaking of the walls.
They also follow it up by the rest of the film, the dog doing things that he would require thumbs for as well.
Yes.
Oddly enough. So, turning on a barbecue with what?
Tying knots. That's the big one I had issue with.
Yeah, unsticking, sticky back plastic. Anyway, we'll come back, sadly.
The family, meanwhile, this is where they say that they're 4 hours away. So let's get hot chocolates. And then they all have a big moan about grandma's stale mac and cheese. And then instead of getting hot chocolates, they just have a big slap-up meal somewhere.
Massive burger, and the kids squirting all the tomato sauce. But the line is, we're only 4 hours from your parents. Let's not spoil their appetite. 4 hours? Can you imagine waiting 4 hours to eat something? I have to eat every 40 minutes.
Also, hot chocolate, it's not spoiling your appetite. It's a drink.
And then they forget that anyway. So
then they go and have a meal because reasons. I think they forgot. I think they,
Yeah.
like, literally the person who's writing.
You think they didn't follow the script?
No, I think the guy writing the script had like a memento problem going on. Every day he just couldn't remember what he'd wrote the day previous. Or it was like one of those things where you write a line and fold it over, and then someone else. Possibly that has more sense to it.
Or at some point he just thrown all the pages up in the air, stormed out, and whoever the production assistant was trying to piece them all together.
Listen, Lee Mac, I'm not doing this for you. Oh, come on now.
They were watching on their tablet though. All this going on at the kennel.
The dog prison, the dog oubliette. Like, and they're like, that's a fine place to leave a dog in a room with like no natural light in it.
Just staring at other dogs. I mean, it was like the Blair Witch Project or something. Horrible.
Just one blanket
horrible.
on the floor. Just one blanket in the middle of the floor, which might come in a little bit later on.
And that man's nowhere to be seen. He needs a social worker. Like, he should be in shock.
Why have you got no money? I spent it all on a tank. It's a true story, that.
Columbus understands the secret dog language that they're talking in and knows, therefore, that the house is in trouble. So he's desperate to get away. Back in the oubliette, the dogs all hide under a blanket.
Mm-hmm.
One blanket.
Yeah.
Classic dog behaviour.
Yeah. I don't take issue with the blanket. I can't be bothered to take anyone through this scene. Somebody please do it for me.
No,
you'll be pleased to know this was the bit where I got a Toy Story kart game advert. It looked like absolute dog shit, but if it keeps Joan Cusack in money, then that's fine by me.
Oh, okay.
So it's like what?
Like a Mario Kart, but with Toy Story characters.
Oh.
It's got like Toy Story Kart game or something. It looked like dog shit, as one would expect.
Like Garfield Kart Racing.
It like Sonic Kart Racing.
Oh, mate, yes. I'll have to have a look at that out. It'll probably be on phones, won't it? Go on, James. You've started it now.
Nobody wants. They get under a blanket. One of them farts. It's stinky. That's going to be another leitmotif of the film.
Mm-hmm.
The escape plan is useless anyway because this man can barely care for himself, let alone effectively manage animals. But he comes in because another dog is yapping on and wants to go and relieve himself outside. And he's like, oh, I'm going to go and relieve myself outside as well. You can come with me. And then the other dogs leap out from under the blanket. They say, oh, it's known that you're invisible when you're under a blanket. A nice nod to dog psychology. Yeah, don't have any problem with that. What I do have a problem is that Bone then escapes via a rope bridge to the outside world, which is the one connecting feature of this bungalow to the rest of the state.
It's the Indiana Jones rope bridge, James, and I can only assume that below there's some stock footage of alligators.
Yeah,
I like to. It's all making sense now. This guy's one of those sovereign citizens, isn't he? Like, he's dug a trench around his house, and he's like, "This is the land of Methtopia." It's all making sense now. That's why he doesn't understand how money works, because it's just him. He's got his name on all the currency.
Dog feces is his currency.
Oh, no, it's disgusting. Yeah, so Bone, escapes. Cupcake is yelling, go and get your bite back, or something at him.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Which I thought was that Dave Benson Phillips program, but it's not.
And then, we've got the family eating a slap-up dinner at the roadside cafe.
So much ketchup. Disgusting.
Did you catch the conversation they were having about the reindeer?
I didn't.
It's like Rudolph grew up in a radioactive zone, which explains why his nose glows. So they're suggesting that Rudolph's from Chernobyl. I mean, not great, but not terrible.
But what about the other reindeer?
Oh no, that's why they can fly, because radiation.
Quality dialogue.
I thought it just made your skin slough off, but whatever.
Take me with you.
Yeah. Having watched Threads, it's exactly what they all start levitating, don't they? I remember now, yeah.
Columbus is in the car. He figures out where the handbrake is, which is nowhere near where it is on ordinary vehicles.
American cars, though, isn't it?
American cars, yeah.
It's a mystery. It's like in the sunroof or something.
They've just got that weird turning wheel, haven't they? The indicator is also the gears. Yes. Yeah.
Is also the ejector seat button. And is also the bit where the oil comes out the back of Dick Dastardly's car.
Oh, I thought you were talking about Toy Story Kart Racing again.
Yeah, probably.
The one that fires the army men out the back. And so Bone is running home to stop them burgling the house.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Columbus reverses the car very slowly up against a wall.
Yeah,
and then this
Hollyoaks crash. Yeah.
bad glass shattering effect. Really, really bad.
It's another staple of this podcast is the Hollyoaks car crash.
And then a family spot him, and he gets picked up into a pickup truck, and then the family he's with spot him in the back of that, and they're like, "Oh no, Columbus has escaped." Also, he's reversed the car.
He's hiding underneath this blanket, and you can just see like a little bit of him in a paw, like a little bit of his face in a paw, and it's speeding away at like 50 miles an hour, and the kid's like, "There he is." What? Like,
If we could-
how did you spot that?
If we could train the dog to say sausages, we could get on That's Life.
Okay, I have just put here skateboarding dog. Is that's life? Can we just burn the podcast down?
That's it. This is the last one. We're stopping because there's nowhere to go from here.
He gets that
Start
skateboard.
watching snuff films.
He gets that skateboard from that kid, and I don't want to draw any like unnecessary racial connotations to it, but the one black kid on this street has had their little bike hit by the car for no reason earlier on, and now their skateboard's been nicked. And I was like, is this just going to be him all the way through this film, just being ruined?
Victimised.
Unfortunate.
Worst
child.
Christmas ever.
Which he never says. That boy's a saint.
No, he goes home and his boots are full of switches, like that, wicker switches. Like the Belschnickel is going to punish him for some reason. I don't know why. I don't know why he's German either, but whatever.
The robbers riff on about wanting, because they're talking about getting small appliances from the kitchen for some reason, and he wants an easy bake oven because they're comedy villains. You know, they're supposed to be pantomime style villains because this is for people with head injuries.
Instead of the wet bandits, these are just the shite. But it's not great, is it?
This is like that last Home Alone film. You
Literally,
know the one with the fat little kid.
One of the reviews sort of alludes to that.
Yeah.
We'd covered that last Christmas.
I remember.
And I hated it because it's
so
awful.
unkind. It's the most unkind film to people. Yeah,
Yes.
It's unkind. Like, sorry, I know you did this last year, but the sticky bandits and the wet bandits are just bastards.
Yeah,
these are people who
criminals.
are losing their house.
Yes,
and go, that child has stolen something from us. Let's go and get it back.
Yeah, Hitler should have got him when he had the right.
He absolutely should have done. He was a nice Hitler, though, wasn't he?
Yes, but anyway, let's get away from that.
Hashtag nice Hitler.
It's Kevin Sorbo comes in now. What was that about Hitler? Nothing, Kevin.
They go to rob this house, and Bone turns up at that very minute and then gets the idea to press on all the cars along the street to make the alarms go off, and they're like, oh, let's double back and rethink this. And then we get a dog home defense montage.
Yeah, well, he says no one's coming out for the alarms. Maybe they're all away too. And I was like, but they've left all their cars. But it is also the way as well. If someone's house alarm's going off, you don't give a shit. You just like, turn it off. I want to go to sleep. But yeah,
you put your headphones in.
But then we get this you're the best around sort of montage of a dog's paw like moving stuff.
Oh. He's scratching at the thing. So I don't know if you got the puns, Joe, but the puns are atrocious.
I didn't even know that Cupcake was in the oubliette, so don't fucking look at me.
He's scratching away at this. So he starts by scratching away at the day. Like, you see him scratch twice at this day, and then the next shot, he's scratched up the whole thing, but he's only scratched away a tiny little bit of it. So not only has he got loads of splinters in his paw, he's caused absolutely no damage whatsoever. And then he manages to move the mat back up. It's so bad. And then, we've got him getting some sticky paper and putting it on the floor, and he goes, he'll stick around. I hope he'll stick around.
I didn't even bother to write him down.
What a piercing paw.
Yeah, they're all so bad. But then there's one bit he's like, maybe he'll have a hot sauce facial. And I was like, what is this? My search history?
So we get I think they're supposed to be mouse glue traps or something that mice stick to, which
like
seems cruel.
traps.
They are cruel.
Yeah.
They are cruel. But Americans like to declaw cats, so fuck them.
Yeah.
Sorry, American listeners.
No. But just get a thingy one and release them into a wood or whatever.
What, cat claws?
No, not cat claws.
Right,
mice.
okay.
Mices. We get that. There is he heats up like a candlestick somehow.
Yeah, how did he like? Obviously, there's this blowtorch that doesn't burn down the entire house, or is it some? Is it like that? Is it the hot thing that Kevin puts on the door handle in Home Alone? You know, he
Yes,
puts the
it's
thing-
very
is it
much
one of
inspired by
those?
that.
Right, okay.
Yeah,
I
but he
missed
puts
that
it on a
bit.
wooden cabinet, which would have, of course, burnt the house down to the ground with the dog inside.
Hot dog.
Jumping from.
The gang get their shit together. The bigger one, I can't remember what nickname I came up
Jake.
with.
Memory.
Okay. I
James.
did get his actual name, but he's been annoying, so Jake just fucking slaps him round the face. It's really hard.
Phil and Rob are
Yes.
the other two, which I'm
Jesus.
assuming one's a pun and the other one's kind of like fill your pockets sort of.
Yeah, I was
Oh,
guessing
I think
it
you're
was
giving
something
it
like
far
that.
too
Oh,
much credit.
they
here.
just went names. Yeah, they just what's two names that you can yell. And so yeah, they go round the back to sneak in.
Oh, they go to the front porch first.
Oh
don't
yeah, they go to the porch.
and Mackenzie Rob.
He's Mackenzie Krug, yeah.
He goes up, stands on the mat, and falls through and gets sort of stuck halfway. And then they go down under the porch to try and drag him out.
Mhm.
And the
Or
dog
push
comes
him
out.
up, which was quite a funny joke. Do we push or pull?
Yeah, I didn't mind this bit actually. I thought it started out on a high. Dog comes out with a frying pan, bats him on the head.
It
I
was
quite
very
like
Reeves
that.
and Mortimer, to be fair. It was very bottom. Because every time they're heaving him, the dog's banging him on the head. And it was like, okay, this is
Yeah,
fun.
it was good.
I do give this bit half a star though, because at least it wasn't the fat guy that fell through the thing. You know, half a star for not doing the very
For the obvious
easiest,
thing, yeah.
fat phobic.
But they managed to get him out, and like the dog is like running around doing other stuff. Isn't it when he gets like some washing up liquid on a windowsill?
Yeah. So
Some-
there's a ladder, as you said, that's parked around the side, just waiting for people to go up. Unless the dog's moved the ladder as well. How would it extend? I don't know. Anyway,
Let's say it has.
Phil, the larger of the two, he goes up that, and he's got the washing up liquid, so he slips, falls down. Perfect. Just leave it there, I say. Two very good japes there that they've done.
Good fun. Also, I'd be like, this house probably isn't worth burgling because something's up here, isn't it? But again, Jake, Rob, and Phil, the dream team, are like, no, we've got our heart set on this now.
Set on Tina shits herself. Yeah. Next advert, lads. Aer Lingus. What is this? My search history?
Hey!
Kind of lingers, my old mate. Yeah. Columbus, meanwhile, has been rescued by what appears to be a greasy spoon Santa Claus.
Yeah, he's
Oh.
meth granddad. Yeah.
It can't be Santa.
I did have a look to see if he was Santa in anything else, and he wasn't, which is a bad sign.
Oh, is he not?
I thought he might have been
Santa's
Santa
in lots of
in
things.
that terrible Lindsay Lohan film that Barney came on my podcast.
Yeah, he looked.
He had a little bit of a look of that kind of like.
It's Santa though, isn't it? Like, yeah, but yeah, and they have a dog called Diesel.
My sister's got a German Shepherd called Diesel.
There's nothing wrong with that. It's a good name for a dog.
There you go.
Could have called it
That's
Kevin.
all I've got. That's all I've
Could
got.
have called it Kevin Nash, but they decided against it.
There's something wrong with this dog, though. It's a psychopath that fantasizes about ripping the arms out of the sockets of criminals.
Don't we all?
He's done it. He says he's done it.
He's done it. He's been a security dog in the past.
Yeah, but now he just rounds up reindeer.
Russell's reindeer or something.
Yeah,
I'd
he's
hate to see how. Just like
rips the
snaps
legs off
the
one of them.
bones and stuff.
With the arms of criminals, obviously.
gives them the fear. Yeah.
Yeah, like crucifies one of
Or
them so that they'll
it's
fear
like,
him. Sort of
or it's like Babe in reverse, and like a pig shows him how to round up reindeer. I don't know. That'd be a better film, wouldn't it? Let's make that happen instead.
They set off, so they're going in this pickup truck, and the family are following this car because the kid somehow saw it. And what do they do to lose the family in the back? So Columbus and there's a plank with a nail
There's
in
a
it. I
plank,
just
like-
remembered.
A board with a nail in it is my zombie weapon of choice, right? If the zombies come, I'm going to, straight to the
they'll
head.
get bigger
Fantastic.
planks and bigger nails.
That's very true. But in this case, they throw it out, and this cartoon car,
Nearly
which
annihilates
looks
them.
like Torville and fucking Dean.
It's
It-
yeah.
Wow, the spinning involved here.
They
I
roll.
still feel sick.
They roll, Jake. They roll.
Which is just dangerous as well, though. Like, it's like again, it's not wacky races. You can't throw spikes out the back of your car.
It's a dog. The dog doesn't know.
The dogs, all these dogs are menaces. Don't let dogs in your house. They're all menaces. It would
Could
appear.
it be grandma?
That's what Diesel was going to do, though. Diesel was going to club Grandma to death with that and blame Bone.
Why
But
is
that
that
is-
Santa's dog?
But that is Grandpa. We find out later.
That's what I
on.
mean. And he was going to blame Bone for it.
How did they not go? That looks a lot like Grandma and Granddad's truck.
Yeah, and that looks like. And there's a bit later on where they go, that's there's a German Shepherd in our house. You know, your mum's German Shepherd, which has obviously been with them for a while because it's not a young dog. None of this works. None of this works.
They just hate Bone. That's what it is. He done crimes.
He's definitely done crimes. Meanwhile, back at the house, Jake gets in through an unsecured window. As you said,
Somehow.
security floor there. Puts his feet squarely on the pest traps, thus attaching him to the tree lights. Which he just cuts himself through. Could have got electrocuted from that, but no, that happens later. He lets in the two goons from the front door, and they go for the big items first. Ice from the fridge and every single bauble on the tree.
I was like, why are we getting the baubles from the tree when there's like a massive flat screen there and stuff? And he's singing "You're a Mean One, Mr. Grinch." Not to the tune of, because obviously for legal reasons. But yeah, he's just pocketing baubles. And I'm like, you can get them in Wilkie's, mate. They're not expensive.
They didn't look like deer ones. They look like
No.
the cheap plastic balls where they'd woven
stuff around them.
Yeah.
Not like the hand-blown German ones. Like,
No.
yeah, but
And that's another thing from his search history.
yes.
And by the way, I've written here, this dog is better at carrying things than Pudsey. Is that a reference for anybody?
Yeah,
That reference work? That
a
long
friend-
dead dog.
a friend
Had
of
a film
mine.
about it.
A friend of mine wrote the script for that.
Oh, get out!
Yeah.
Somebody wrote that script.
Yeah, he said it's his secret shame because he wrote all this stuff in the film for them to do, the dog, and the dog could dance, and that was fucking it. Like, couldn't do any of the stuff in it, so they had to. Yeah, it's a fun film to watch when you know that someone tried to make it a good film, and they just were
absolutely.
limited by the fact the dog was shit.
At least your friend has a golden toilet, so that's all right.
Well,
I mean, at least in this film, the animal actors are the best actors in it. But yeah,
fucking hell.
Well, they're certainly better than the dad, who I've written as non-union Tim Vine.
Yeah, that's a good shout, actually.
He makes me think that as an unattractive middle-aged balding man, I could still have a career in Hollywood as well.
I would like to see you in a role similar to this.
He's David DeLuise, and I'm like, is he Dom DeLuise's
Oh
son?
no, the apple falls very far from the tree.
I don't know whether he is, but I would think there can't be that many DeLuises knocking about. And
He
it
needs
seems
a
like,
fat guy hat.
Yeah.
Where's his fat guy hat?
is it?
Yeah.
I said it can't. It must be, or a
Wow.
relation. So yeah, that's why he's in this. He's like, do you know who my father
Well,
is?
it said in the trivia, that Mel Brooks is his godfather, and I was like,
Yeah.
is that a
Makes
lie?
a lot of sense.
But no,
yeah.
Also, Gareth Keenan is eating bean dip as well. He gets really excited about bean dip, which I
It's
don't
how
know
I
what that
eat all
is,
my
but-
meals.
but doesn't sound nice. And I think it's
It's
also
what
from
you
your
have
search
on-
history,
It's what you have crisps in. Crisps and
like hummus.
Yes, yeah, but a bit more Mexican-y. You know, like
refried
refried beans.
Refried
Yeah.
beans,
That
right?
sounds
Okay.
nice. I mean, it
But
doesn't. Yeah,
he's
it
eating
sounds like a
that,
condiment, doesn't it?
And then he makes a chimichanga as well, which is an effort because you've got to fry that. But
Then
yeah,
he goes boom boom a little bit later on.
well, so they're in this house. He's got glue traps stuck to his feet, and at no point thinks to remove them. Just wanders around with them like, "This is my life now."
It's like a real life Katamari, just accumulating material all around the place.
Oh, bravo!
That's it. That's as highbrow as we're ever getting. Stop.
Kill the podcast.
Phil picks up the hot candle holder that's just been burned in a circle in the thing upstairs, chucks it because it's hot to Jake, burns his hand, and then they spot Bone handling up a chandelier which he's rigged just like Only Fools and Horses.
Yeah. I have issues with this because the jewellery box was on the floor, right? He picks the thing up. So he's in the bedroom, but he manages to throw the candlestick from the bedroom into the entrance foyer, right?
Yeah.
So it must have gone round a corner. Like,
Is he not maybe up at the top of the Titanic stairs?
possibly. But yeah, he then launches it. It hits Rob, and Rob gets knocked out cold because
Yes.
Rob takes the majority of the head trauma in this film.
He does.
Thus
he
putting
gets-
him in a better position to enjoy the film,
and
arguably.
maybe this is what he saw when he was unconscious.
It's a beaver dream.
Jacob's ladder style situation. But yeah, the dog has like wrapped it round like a balustrade and like
Yeah.
and he's got his paw on it and he's looking down at him and they're like, oh, good doggy. And they're trying to move Rob by the good technique of slapping someone who's unconscious because that always works. And Charlie Fairhead was always doing that in Casualty. And there's a knock at the door. And I was like, okay. The dog, Rob wakes up, they drag him out of the way. This CGI chandelier hits the floor and they're going, well, just pretend we're not in. And I would have done that. And Jake goes, no, they know someone's in because they've heard that noise. And I was like, you could
To
still...
be honest, they're probably going to assume that there's like mad violence going on behind that door.
Dog-related shenanigans.
Oh, and they open the door and it's this fucking thing I hate in Christmas films is... people dress like Victorian. You're American. You don't have that as a culture. Stop appropriating Victorian culture.
Specifically, one man dressed
Dickensian
like
culture.
Dickensian character.
And actually,
the rest of them just
is our
dressed,
thing. So
to be fair,
the rest of them were just dressed normally, and he was really like properly giving it. So, what film was he in?
Do you reckon they were like, "Yeah, we're all going to dress up, Keith"? And he's like, "Okay, because I've got a really good costume." Yeah, and he's like, "You bastards." I can't go home and change now, right? So they're singing, and at this point, Jake has got this candelabra in his hand, not the candlestick in his hand, and he's prepared to murder 5 people with this for what have we got so far? Some bean dip and
some baubles.
And some baubles. Bean dip and baubles. They're a crime fighting duo. And yeah, it makes no sense. And they tell him to like fuck off, basically. And he sees the gift card thing they were going to give him. And this is where it was like, oh, a donation to furry friends or whatever. And I was like, okay, does this pay off ever?
Nope.
No.
Neither does the caroling, really. It plays no role in suspense or moving the plot on. Nothing at all. Only, I suppose, to sort of hammer home the fact that it's at Christmas. Because really, they could have gone, to Grandma's for Thanksgiving or something like that. It bears no relation on it being a Christmas film.
But then we couldn't rip off Bone Alone then, could we? You see.
So they ignore those carolers, and Jake calls Kevin Sorbo for backup. Someone want to introduce him?
I was astonished that Sorbo was a villain, in this film at least.
I was going to say, where were you on January the 6th, Sorbo?
Nicking people's dogs, I think.
Yeah, so we're introduced to him, and he's in like Thingy's bunker from The Last of Us. Like he's in like this. And he's got again like another Chihuahua dog in a cage that's going, "I'm hungry" or something. Like it's horrible. But he's got all these dog wanted posters up.
Did you read any of them?
No. Obviously I didn't, but I knew someone would, and I knew it was going to be you.
And somebody did.
Somebody.
I mean, you were in this film. You probably did them on your breaks.
I hope not, because whoever it is about to get fired from all films. So one of them just says, "Missing dog, Olivier." I think they spelled Oliver wrong, to be honest. "Missing dog, Olivier, brown pug, reward 5,000 rupees, all ones. Please find my dear Olivier. He is the only thing I have left in the world. If I don't get him back, I'll have nothing to live for."
Wait, have you fired up the fucking synopsis matron again?
Ain't nobody putting rupees into that one.
No. So I'm assuming he kidnaps dogs and then ransoms them back? Question mark?
He's branded as a finder, a dog finder or a dog catcher or something.
Yeah.
And he's on the phone to somebody about the mayor and
he's saying what he wants to give the dog back, and I think that's the little dog that's in the cage.
Yes, Bubbles.
I think he's got dog catcher on his back. So just in my mind, I've jumped 3 or 4 steps here. He's the dog catcher. He finds the dogs in the street. He waits until there's a wanted poster. He keeps them. Then he rings the wanted poster. "Oh, I can help you find your dog here, but here's what I'm going to need. And you've got to get me in with the mayor because he's changed the zoning and I keep getting tickets outside my apartment." I am pretty certain I didn't have a stroke. I'm pretty sure.
Let's hope he doesn't push a pig with a Richard Nixon mask on it.
I literally thought there were monsters on the world.
For 50 seconds, I thought there were monsters on the world.
The funniest thing about that is that it's just monsters on the world, not in the world.
Right, that makes more sense, because I thought he was like Dennis Rader or something, and he was just killing dogs. But Right, yeah, but he wants.
he says
he
no man,
wants,
no bubbles.
He wants what's that, a case of diet soda and a sandwich with the crust cut off. And I was like,
Oh yeah.
you don't want money
to meet the mayor. Yeah.
That probably ties in because he does something for like 60 quid in a chimichanga later, doesn't he?
Yeah,
So
it's very.
setting.
It's
It's
not
character
a great,
building.
It's not a great system he's got. That's what I'm saying. It's flawed. I'd ask for cash. Cash can buy many peanuts. And so they call him up because he's his brother-in-law or some shit. I don't know. He comes round, and from what I've read in like the reviews, I was reading this. He's supposed to be Quint
I have written question mark. Is he Quint?
because he's called Quentin.
Oh, is he?
Right.
Okay. Quentin Crisp.
Yes, darling. Yeah, but he shows up, and we get this montage of him, like, well, not this montage, this soliloquy about how dangerous dogs are, and he's like showing his scars.
Bitten by chihuahuas or something?
Yeah,
Poodles?
I guess it's supposed to be funny, but it isn't. And he says, but the biggest scar is in my mind. And then he basically ad-libs like what happened to, was it the American warship? Like
the bit about the warship with the sharks is probably my favourite bit of Jaws. Entirely my favourite bit of Jaws. That where he's telling the story.
Well, that really happened. Like
yeah, exactly, and that's probably my favourite bit of Jaws. This. It just made me mad.
But they tell that story and go, and also dogs were there. And I'm like, well, what's that got to do with anything?
Poodles, famously more dangerous than great white shark.
Yeah.
There's I just want to mention that there's a quick scene of Dad and Dylan out on the road somewhere, changing a tyre while the kid's being a little shit.
Oh,
and
my
the punchline
God.
to this is that the tyre rolls away.
We get, and then that goes off to commit murder in that film, Rubber. How did it get out? Like, because it bounces past them, so someone's ran off with it and clodded it out.
At speed as well. It's CGI just beaming it down a highway.
Yeah.
To presumably just fuck up an intersection somewhere.
Fucking
Which happened earlier, by the way, near us. We're on the way to the gym, and there was this big purple ball just bouncing out into the road.
Did you go, I am not a number?
It's weird, surreal experience.
It all happens near you. The man being attacked by a bee. This is great.
Ritter sports bars running down the street. Oh yeah.
Yeah, and the kid like, oh, what a great way to spend my Christmas, fixing a tire with my dad. And I'm like, oh, fucking
worst Christmas ever.
Use him as a jack, right, and then drop the car on his head. But yeah, this tire rolls away, and like, I guess it's supposed to be funny, but it leaves more questions than it answers.
I think it's more like, why aren't they home yet? But they were 4 hours out or something, so it's another 4 hours back.
The time it's taken Bone to set up his perimeter.
Days.
That's no. He works
for
fast.
a dog,
dog days, yeah. Because it's just none of it lines up, and it's fine because it's a kids' film. But whatever. They're now in the house, and this is where we start getting like weird punishments.
We get the fishing hook scene next.
Oh yes,
because God forbid Sorbo should actually stand up for any of his scenes. It's like Michael Caine in anything post 2020
or Steven Seagal, yeah.
But Steven Seagal can't stand up.
The comments.
It's a great film where Steven Seagal has an entire fight in an office chair. It's fucking amazing. If you've seen Steven Seagal at a Taekwondo demonstration where people run into him and fall over, it's brilliant. I love it. Yeah, so he's got this massive cartoon Beano style chop like on a fishing hook, and he's just sat down and he's going like, again, this is supposed to be Quint, but it just doesn't work because the dog gets it. And then just like runs around for a bit.
So Phil's taking a big dump in the family bathroom meanwhile, and he just puts the chop in his pants and then scarpers away. The lad doesn't see it do that because he's reading a comic or something. Everyone's always fucking reading comics in the films.
He pulls his pants up and it's in his
pants.
How you wouldn't notice?
I don't remember having a big wet piece of up. Yeah. But yeah, and then gets dragged across like the house. And
even then, it wasn't as funny as I thought there was going to be some payoff to that, like him tumbling down the stairs.
Getting his nadgers whacked into a exactly. But no, and then And then Kevin Sorbo collects his check and leaves.
No, because it's cattle prod time next.
Oh shit! Yeah.
And I put, is it the rechargeable hotshot cattle prod again with a 16-inch flexible shaft? There's $63 on Amazon.
You can buy them.
What is this? My search history?
But yes, it's So he's like, I'll go get the dog and I'll use my electric cattle prod because that seems justified.
Humane. Yeah.
The dog lures him to the tree using that creepy doll from before. And the plan is for him to approach the creepy doll, then get his foot hit with a model train that's around the tree so that he drops the cattle prod on the track and thus electrocutes himself to death.
Mm-hmm.
There's a sound effect there that's why we don't see Kevin Sorbo again, because he's dead. Like bones break. There's a definite crunch.
God, I can only hope because he suffered this Final Destination style series of events.
This is the bit where I got another advert. Google pit stops with Lando. Can Google fill in a form with my details before a pit stop team can change a tyre? This deal's getting worse all the time. I don't know who Lando is.
Christ.
I have absolutely no idea.
Not Lando Calrissian.
Well, that was the this deal's getting worse all the time, Joe. Don't know if you've ever seen Empire Strikes Back.
You Lando.
And those were the best bits of this film experience for Mark.
These are the bits I remember vividly.
Yeah, because it's just the rest of it kind of.
I remember that
together.
advert vividly because I've seen it about 20 times.
We're in the last half hour. Sweet merciful God is what I wrote. At
mild inconveniences mistakenly given as traps.
Phil gets flour fired into his face somehow,
and then decides to wipe it off with a flannel, which is covered in
acid?
Hot sauce.
We'd
already got the hot sauce joke earlier on. And to get the hot sauce out of his eyes, he gets in the shower. Listeners, take it from me. Don't wash hot sauce out of your eyes with water. Use Lassie, the mango dairy drink.
Yeah, I was going to say,
not the helpful collie dog.
Do not liquidize a dog. Right? That's the one thing. If you take away anything from this, do not put a dog in a blender.
I do want mango Lassie now.
Oh yeah. So he gets in the shower. Bone pushes a broom across the doorway, the glass doorway into the shower. He's somehow rigged the drain to not drain out.
Dropped a ball in it.
I missed that bit.
Yeah,
and then slowly watches a man drown
in cartoon water.
Yeah, why didn't he just turn the water off?
Because he tries, and it's like he's rigged the plumbing as well somehow by I don't know,
with his dog mouth.
This is Saw, then, isn't it?
He's put one of those Kong chews in the fucking pipe or some shit. I don't know.
Would you like to play a game? You like running into people's houses and stealing their tummy shits a lot.
Would you like to play a game?
You shit yourself a lot?
Yeah, it fills up, and it's got weird David Blaine style Will He Escape style stuff from it. Shazam. And then Rob crawls into a cupboard which has air vents in it.
Yeah, there's some sort of air chute for the ventilation system for this house.
He's in the Nostromo, obviously.
Yeah, it's really weird. And then we do get a little wink to film history here, where he's like, break into a house, they said, steal a lot of stuff. And I was like, fuck you.
Yeah.
He gets stuck in this tube somehow.
And then farts a lot.
Because of the bean dip. And then Bone manages to somehow fire lawn darts up his jacksie.
Yeah. Drops him down, I think. Just dropping shit on him.
Yeah, because he's upside down. I assume that he's face first down here. But it doesn't look that way. At no point have we had the flip of the camera.
Right, okay.
Which is why we think we're seeing him. Because you and I would go down feet first, am I right?
Yeah, I wouldn't be in there in the first place. I don't like enclosed spaces like that.
I think he was reaching for the dog toy, and then the dog shoves him, which I don't think they have that much upper body strength, but this film relies on that a lot.
Bone does, because he's murdering grandmas left, right, and centre.
And Mike tries to rescue Rob, who's going, I've been skewered, which just made me laugh. But because he thought that wasn't murderous enough, Bone then goes getting his steps in, goes down to the basement and lights up a fucking barbecue under the air vent, which I assume would just kill everyone in the house.
Well, it would smoke them out, wouldn't it?
No,
Yeah.
no, it's a
in the air
laundry chute. He says it's a laundry chute. I remember now, which seems weird that it's in a cupboard and also in a house that small. Well,
And
that big.
the
Like,
laundry,
Oh, they
the
got
laundry
servants.
lands on the barbecue.
yeah, whatever. Doesn't make sense. He's
I think
pushed
he
the
pushes the
barbecue over.
barbecue over, yeah,
Ah,
using his
Using
upper
his
body
thumbs.
strength.
Yeah, using his thumbs that he's
It's got core. It's all about core.
The lovely cause.
Fucking hell. Jim Core. That's another mad racist.
Is this the bit where it's you humans had enough, or you're hungry for more bones or something? I kind of gave up.
Come on, chappies. Yeah, it's. Dear.
We get a cut to Santa driving Columbus back home. He's now aware of Columbus in the back, and he senses that he needs to go home because he's read the dog tag, so he knows where to go. Doesn't know that that's where his son/daughter lives with all his grandchildren.
Yeah, which is
And
strange.
meanwhile, he's dying of esophageal cancer.
That's why they
this
don't
cough.
want to take the dog.
Ho ho ho! No.
It's
Oh,
I
he's
think
eating, he's eating a sweet or something, and then he starts
He's
choking on it.
Yeah.
because I'm
And
assuming
all she
he's
does is
supposed
just
to be
dog.
Father Christmas.
Yeah, I don't know.
But then,
Who
like,
could care? Who could give a
but
shit?
using the Santa Claus rules, if Santa just dies of esophageal cancer, who does it pass on to next?
Oh well, this is going
The
back to that.
esophagus.
Oh, what was that film called that you did? Oh, and that had like a Tim Allen ho 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 no sort of character
Yeah,
in it.
yeah,
It was
yeah.
awful, whatever
Yeah,
it was.
actually. They're in the house still. No, does he not try coming down the chimney, Rob? And that's when they light the fire.
No, the dog. So the dog, Columbus gets there and jumps down the chimney, and you see his little cartoon dog legs hanging out the bottom of the fireplace. And then he comes through, and Diesel's lowered him down like Tom Cruise.
I hate to
in
say it, but that's a
Mission
bit
Impossible.
later. We've
Oh,
got
Is
sorry.
it?
Is there
Oh,
more?
we've got more shit.
Oh yeah,
Oh,
of course,
no,
because we've not even got the musical montage that hasn't got any music to it because
we
YouTube.
get the
Oh,
dad
I
calling
wondered what
AAA.
happened.
I stopped this film 3 times and restarted it 3 times, thinking, sorry.
The dad calls the kennel, AAA dude, who says that he's got no idea where Bone is. He keeps calling him Steve. It's not funny. And the dad's like, well, I'm going to have to come back now.
I'll see
even
you
though
in
I'm
court.
chasing-
And he's like, I am just a name. I am not a person.
I am a sovereign citizen. Jake puts some sort of lubricant down the chute in order for Rob to slide out, but then he slides face first onto the hot grill. There's a weird cut to his face going up to the grill, which it looked like a crash test dummy or something.
Probably.
But it was a human face. It was weird.
Brad
and that
Roberts
likely
needed the
gave
money.
him first-degree burns to face. So, yeah.
Just a good
They
crash
chase
test
the
dummy
dog
joke there,
again,
didn't
who's now rigged the shower so that Phil bursts out in a tidal wave to a little bit of surfer music. Did you get that? A little bit
Yeah,
of surfer
I liked
music.
it. Little sting.
But they don't go down the stairs, so they're not ripped to shreds by this riptide that's come through. So they just fucking grab the dog, which they could have done all along, put him in a closet, and then threaten to throw him off a bridge.
Yep, which is fine.
Yeah, I'm fine with that now. And then the sound cut out for 2 delightful minutes.
Yeah.
I checked my headphones, checked all my of everything, and then I was like, it's YouTube, innit? There'll be an actual song here that someone's put a copyright strike on. And yeah, that's what it was.
You're
I
the
don't know what it
best.
was.
All right. No,
I'm
Yeah, I
assuming it was
assume
Raining Blood
even
by
Rocky
Slayer.
had a montage. But it's not even a montage. It's just them wandering around the house.
Yeah, Jake
Like-
tries on footwear in the bedroom. Oh, and look, he's considering some ladies' shoes. Isn't that
Ladies' shoes.
funny?
Oh,
And then some Sasquatch slippers, but he never goes for it. So well, that's all about.
Is this where he gets all the stuff stuck to him, or have I missed that bit?
Yeah, so I think he
falls.
goes to grab him, but slips and falls on a bed
Yeah.
where everything's been glued. So he should all have glued together.
Yeah, but
instead it
he
all
doesn't.
adheres to him. So he's
Yeah.
more of a.
in
Catamaran
in
than he
specific
was before.
bits.
It's like panda
Yeah.
slippers from Labyrinth. Yeah.
I thought the joke here was that he was
Oh,
going to
that's just
appear
not-
to be a monster at some point. He's just accrued all this stuff.
No,
and then, he
no.
gets shot by Republicans. Don't know.
There's monsters
Don't know.
of this world.
Doesn't go anywhere. Doesn't inconvenience him. He just sort
No,
of
he just squeaks around the house. Just take your top
Yeah.
off, mate.
Yeah.
I don't need to see that, but like, it would have made more sense than wandering around looking. Yeah.
Sorry, I can't. Court order.
Just too damn sexy. Right, what else happens? What other
Santa
traps?
drops off Columbus, and so there's a knock at the door. It's Santa dropping off Columbus. Says, "Oh yeah, this little lad lives here. I picked him up at a gas station 4 hours away." And Jake is by the door, and behind the door he's got the candlestick because
He
he's
just
about
loves-
to stave in Santa's fucking head.
He was already ready prepared to kill those carolers before. He just loves murder. Or Cluedo.
Christmas murder.
Yeah, it was a man covered in dog toys in the entrance foyer with the candlestick.
Festive manslaughter.
That's a good jazz name.
The family are properly worried about the dogs now. How could you have separated from the dogs? Dad, you absolute prick, says Mum.
Yeah, worst Christmas ever.
It's the worst Christmas ever again. And Santa's dog has escaped from the back of the pickup because as he was driving away, Diesel, the psychopath dog, was like, I need to be there and to help out Columbus.
To hear the screams of man.
We're hurtling towards the end of this film. Robbers want to finish off the dogs, even though they could just drive away.
They've got nothing. They've stolen nothing.
They've stolen a few
Some
appliances.
baubles. Yeah.
There was a quick montage of them doing that. So they've got stuff now. They could just fuck off, but they don't want to. They want to finish the job by murdering animals. So Phil goes to the cupboard and doesn't realise that the two dogs are under the blanket. They're still in the cupboard that they left them in, just under a blanket. And that's enough for him. Oh, they've escaped. Oh, let's leave the door open and walk away.
The classic blanket technique we've already seen employed earlier on in the film, though, you see.
But it worked the first time.
It's what you call a callback.
Yeah. Chekhov's dog blanket.
Oh, Santa's driven off as well, and he's like, "Oh fuck, my dog! Yeah, I had a dog, didn't I?" It takes him so long to realise. Everyone's
Who's
just
going to
like,
round up my reindeer now?
Everyone's just got amnesia in this film, like permanently.
Have we got to the dogs going down the chimney yet?
It's nearly. So Jake starts battling with Bone, I think, and it's just a weird scene because he's not actually battling him properly. He's just got some dog toys and is like, ruffling him up sort of thing.
Right.
Dog's loving it, to be honest. And then he goes to get the nibbles. One of them goes to get nibbles for Santa on the mantelpiece, and there's a mouse trap in the stocking. So it's full of shit. He's rigged the whole house so that kids will be like injuring themselves for decades.
I don't know
after
if your
this.
parents ever used to hide little Easter eggs for you on Easter or whatever, they'd always write a list of where they were, so that because my parents were probably pissed when they did it. Like if you couldn't remember where they were, at least you wouldn't find a Kinder egg in the bottom of your shoe 2 days later. I doubt Bone had that forethought. So for weeks to come, there'd just be pratfalls aplenty in this house.
Children dying.
Gas explosions, all sorts of stuff. Columbus, while this is going on, ties his legs with bungee cord, and Bone knocks something like an aerial or something incredibly light off the roof, and then he just disappears up the chimney and then starts just farting again.
Yeah.
It's funny. And it causes a blast that then knocks out Phil. There's deranged wrestling between Bone and Jake again, and then Bone starts loading up the treadmill with cutlery, which fires at him.
Yeah, it was fun.
It was good.
Well, is Bone's superhero persona the Blue Raja? Not Stabman, not Knifey Boy, the Blue Raja.
The Blue Raja. Why don't you throw a knife? Because if you understand British... Yeah. And then he fires what appears to be like a garlic press at him or something, and it lands in his mouth, and I was like, what?
Is that what goes in his mouth? Because he starts talking weirdly from now
on.
Well,
he says something like, now it's time for you to have the alarms. He says something weird, the dog, and then fires this garlic press at him. I assumed it was, because it was all cutlery. Like, he was firing at him. So I'm assuming he just emptied the kitchen drawer.
Yeah.
And if it's out like ours, he was half packets of Rennies flying at him and shit like that.
The thing is that they end up stringing up all the criminals together with wrapping paper, and they put a cone on Jake's head as well. And by that point, he's just woofing at dog.
Yeah.
I was like,
Diesel's like, introduce me to your friend or something. Do you want to shag him? Does Tommy from Trainspotting die the same way as Phoebe Cates' dad in Gremlins?
He does. He's in the thing, and then I'm sure Bone lights the fire underneath with his dog hand, turns the gas on. And we slowly watch Rob get cooked in this. It's never explained how he gets out, but later on he comes in all blacked up.
I think the fart blast frees him.
Yeah, I wasn't okay with that.
The dogs fist bump one another, or paw bump one another.
Fucking hell, yeah.
Rob then walks in blackface, and I'm like, oh, Kevin Sorbo wrote that bit. And Santa's dog Diesel comes in to just sort of push him over. Not a great deal of
knocks
action
him out again, which is like the third unconsciousness he's had today. So he needs to go and see the doctor.
He's been awake for about 20 minutes, to be honest.
Yeah, but that's a lot of time to be unconscious. Like, did a CT scan on his head, it'd just all be black in there, like full of holes, like Chris Benoit.
Okay.
Speaking of homemade, anyway.
This is a hard episode.
I've got to pan out the 90 minutes of the runtime.
Well, we'll get to how they pan it out in a moment. The family get back, aren't the least bit perturbed that there's criminals in the house and that the house is wrecked. And then the police come and arrest the criminals. And the worst thing is that they can't have any of that girl's burnt-looking fucking cookies.
I think they're from the Easy Bake Oven.
Yeah.
But also, as
Not
they
a good
lead,
advert for it.
as they lead the criminal away, she walks past and gives him a look.
Yeah.
And I'd be like, you could still lash out with your foot in here. Like, you could give her a quick kick. Right.
She's not the worst one, though.
No, she's not.
Still, yeah.
The lad's on the phone to someone again, and he goes, and then this happened, and they were diamond thieves, and I'm like, you're a lying little shit as well. And he goes, best Christmas ever, and I guess that's the payoff for his story.
Yeah.
Who knows?
Oh, yeah,
who could care?
it's all for insurance for that kid, isn't it? Oh, it's good now, payday. There's a knock at the door, and it's Santa again and Mrs. Claus, who turn out to be the grandparents.
Oh, so this is your new house? Like, you wouldn't tell your parents where you'd moved to? And then, like, it starts snowing. Oh, they're all having a big dinner, Christmas dinner. The dogs have got, like, human food, which you shouldn't do because it's not good for them. And then the kid notices it's snowing outside. They go outside. The grandparents are there. They all go in, and then it ends. Thankfully,
Yeah. God bless us,
Mercifully.
everyone.
that was probably more fun than the film is itself. To be fair, because it's not very often you get that many references to Hollyoaks in an episode. But it's I mean, I
But it's not the end, is it? Because did anybody watch it after that?
no,
point?
of course I
No,
fucking didn't.
no, I
I'm
couldn't,
the
I
only
couldn't
one who
get it
ever
up quick
does.
enough.
As soon as that first credit rolled up, I was like, quit. Yeah.
It plays the same animation at the start, at the end, but silently. So, and then it ends.
Does he not have like music over it? What the hell was that? So there's like a bit at the end, like Bone will return in Bone Alone 2,
in
Bone in New York.
Bone Tomahawk.
Oh no. No. Wow, so there must have been a song over the end as well then that got copyright. Oh, they just ran out of money.
Just negligence.
Probably. It's like, we finished the film. Okay, right. Put the credits on. Okay. Put a song on it. What? Nothing. I fucking hated it. I watched like Santa Paws and I think The Kittens That Saved Christmas. And this is.
I must have missed your episode on the Kittens.
I don't think
Christmas.
we did it.
Right. Okay.
I think it was before we started doing it. It's terrible. It's Three Kittens That Saved Christmas.
Is this the worst film we've ever seen?
I don't know. Lady Circus still haunts my
Lady
brain.
Circus haunts my
It's
dreams.
still
Yeah.
better.
Is it?
I mean,
At
we
least
did
this
watch,
had like 2 jokes in it. Lady Circus was just distressing.
we watched that
Abuse,
German film about the coronavirus. That
Was funny because we could laugh at that though. Like this was like trying to be funny but wasn't, and the bits that were funny were not meant to be funny.
I don't know who this is for. I have no idea who this
And
is.
what happened to AAA? Did he get the help that he desperately needed?
Nope, he just turned
He
the
had a
gun on himself
breakdown.
in the end. Yeah,
Where did Kevin Sorbo go?
dead, mate. I told you. In the garden, like the dogs dug and pushed him in, like, and then because they're good at digging, dogs, aren't they? And that's it. Yeah. In a couple of years' time, when they come to sell that house, they'll be like, "Oh, do you know there's a dead Hercules in your back garden?" Good. Xena was better, he'll say. I absolutely hated this, but I don't think it's the worst we've ever done. But your scores, James.
1 bronze Rupes.
Sorry. Took me by surprise, that. Mark?
1 bronze shank bone.
Again, it's got to be like 1 bronze blanket of farts. Just because I don't know, like I said, I don't know who it's for. Who would you put this on for? It's not going to entertain children. Unless
I think it
like,
might, though. I think it might.
the colours and the shapes moving and that.
Yeah, it's got dogs, hasn't it? It's got animals. And the animals are talking and,
I don't like
the
that.
anthropomorphic stuff. No, but little kids do.
Yeah.
As long as they're not old enough to hear anything that's said. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's your narrow window of opportunity with this film. But by anything that demographic.
Just watch 4 hours of Bluey instead.
Just watch
That's
a Bluey.
talking dog.
That was Bone Alone / Alone for Christmas 2013 by The Asylum. Also known as Mom, I Lost the Dog in Italy. Don't know why.
Dude, where's my dog?
Mom didn't. What? Who lost the dog?
Nobody did. Well,
Triple A.
No.
Kennel Guy did, I guess.
Kennel Guy lost his dog. Father Christmas lost his dog.
He might plausibly try and call them Mom because he'll say anything. That guy's an addict.
To get a discount.
In his room of hair and piss, there's also his desiccated mum's corpse. Yeah.
Also known as Bone Allein zu Haus. Bone Home Alone in Germany. And also in Germany,
you got to say it like that.
Retten Weihnachten, which is 4 paws save Christmas. I don't know who the 4th set of paws is.
No, all dogs have got four paws. Apart from, is he called Bandit in Parks and Rec?
Oh, Bandit.
Yeah, the 4 paws. The
4.
We'll say Cupcake helps as well.
Well, then it's 8. Well, it's 8 paws then because Columbus.
Well, technically, it's 12 because fucking Diesel gets involved. It
The
falls
12.
apart. You
That's
look
okay.
so close at it.
Same year anyway as last week, so let's not get into that. It's a TV movie, so there's no budgetary data. And also, where did the budget go on this?
Training the dogs to talk, mate.
Lots of peanut butter in the mouth.
Mr. Ed, yeah.
Directed by Joseph J. Lawson.
Was it though?
Joe is always ready to take on a challenge, whether it's directing in a far-off land old-school David Lean style or mashing up the genres and creating exciting, emotional and iconic images that defy and exceed expectations while meeting budgets and deadlines.
Who said that? His mum?
I was going to say Joe's mum's wrote that. Also,
is that on his LinkedIn?
He's very good. He's a very good boy and he's clean.
Always washes his hands before dinner.
He's a very good boy. Is he a dog?
Yeah. I would surprise me if a dog directed
this.
He also directed Home, Not Alone, 2013. So, yeah.
Is that just people in a house for 90 minutes?
Too many people in the house.
Like the stateroom scene
Too
at night in the
ostriches.
opera. They just keep pushing people in there. Is my Aunt Minnie here? If she's not, you can find someone better. Yeah.
That's a great reference. That reference is far too good for this podcast.
I love the Marx Brothers.
Yeah, me too.
He's done lots of Hallmark adjacent stuff in the Royal Christmas line.
Oh,
so
good.
You can find plenty of those. I never want to watch anything by him again.
I want to do a Christmas series on him in December.
He incredibly has been employed as a visual effects director, and
is he Mr. Film?
He may be. I actually think Mr. Film was better. He's done nearly every film in Sci-Fi's Sharknado franchise and Terror Birds 2016, which it predates the Schitt's Creek thing, so it could actually be.
Birdemic.
That's based on Birdemic, though.
Yeah.
Which is a delightful film. I love it.
Yeah.
And Angel's Apocalypse 2015, featuring a nude Archangel Gabriel, according to trailer. And Joseph J. Lawson's contribution to this film appears to be making his knob glow so that you can't actually see the director's penis.
Oh, mate. What did you do in the film? It's like special thanks for Joseph.
Knob shining.
Oh, mate. Buffed it right up.
It's 1.6 on IMDb. I've never seen anything that low.
Oh, dear.
It's because of the shine. That's why you've never seen it.
He's no Fabio, is he? The Golden Fabio.
Golden or
he used to
otherwise.
do Golden Fabio.
Golden Fabios.
Yeah.
It's one of the things where it's movies so shit, I think they're actually too shit for us. I think we've got that. We've got to have something.
I've said this before. It's like the first
Some level of
Sharknado
competence.
film is really great because they were trying to make like a proper film.
Yeah.
And the second and onwards, they just lent into it being shite, and it doesn't work because you're in on the joke then, and it's not as good.
Exactly. Yeah, the dad, David DeLuise. Yeah, I thought his godparents are Mel Brooks and Anne Bancroft. Is this a lie? But no, it's true. Been in loads and loads of stuff. Stargate, SG-1, Third Rock from the Sun. Also, NCIS. CSI New York, CSI, and CSI Miami.
Wow, we've got the Pentaveret. Well done.
Well done. I think that's the first one we've ever had.
Don't well done me.
Well done, Dom DeLuise.
Yes. And
Did
he's
he play a cadaver in Prime Suspect?
He probably did. He's appeared in at least 9 dog movies since 2013, including Beethoven's Treasure Trail.
Oh my!
Wait,
what
yes.
the
Wait,
fuck?
is that porn?
I was going to say that.
So his career is
Still
clearly
making
like
Beethoven films.
yes. So I don't know. We could
Darkest
do that.
timeline.
We could just move on. It's the darkest line. The mum was Kim Little, and this is the same as so many people involved with this film. Her IMDb page claims that she's been in War of the Worlds 2005. And I thought, what? And then when you look it up, it's the Asylum knockoff of War of the Worlds. Of course it is.
right, okay.
What universe does it make sense that somebody in Bone Alone would be in War of the Worlds?
They could be one of the people that's exploded while Tom Cruise runs towards the camera.
She's not, because she's in the stinky-looking sequel in 2008.
The chances of any dog coming from Mars.
Oh yes.
Triple
Wolf of
A,
the World.
Jonathan Nation.
Jonathan Nation,
Jonathan
the independent nation of Jonathan.
Not to be confused with Claymation, his cousin.
Jonathan, I didn't even make that link. Well done, well done. It's a story of 3 films here. He's known for Cocaine Cougar 2023,
Yeah.
Jurassic Galaxy 2018,
What?
and Piranha Women 2022.
So he's got a type. Yeah.
Moving on, Kevin Sorbo. I'll finish on Kevin Sorbo because why not? Star of Hercules and Andromeda, winner of 11 awards, mainly of the Faith and Family style film festivals. So you can't take that too seriously. It now seems to be part of the whole Left Behind series as well. He has been in at least one Hallmark film though. Avenging Angels, which is a Western, which I didn't think they did.
Oh, does he get his knob out and it's all shiny?
He's also in Bernie the Dolphin 1 and 2, which I really liked.
If I haven't seen the first one, will I understand?
We,
Bernie the Dolphin. Fuck.
listen,
Echo
Joe.
was busy.
We've all been in a film.
It's not even a good dolphin name.
Yeah, it's Bernie Sanders, the dolphin, and
I was going to say Bernie Winters.
in
Okay,
2004, during an interview with Jerry Newcomb on the radio show Vocal Point, Sorbo defended Mel Gibson against allegations that his 2004 film The Passion of the Christ was anti-Semitic with the words, "News bulletin, you did kill Jesus."
I didn't. I was busy that day. I was washing my hair.
"I'm not afraid to be a lion," Sorbo once said in an interview. "I think there's too many sheep out there. I think the lions need to wake up and not be afraid to speak up. What's going on in too many churches right now with catering to whoever the whim of the world of the craziness is just absolutely insane." Doesn't even make sense, mate.
Drugs, people.
Yeah, just stay away from Kevin Sorbo. He could have put all that Hercules money into doing delicious frozen desserts, called it Kevin Sorbet, and moved on with his life, couldn't he? But no, he had to go down the fucking where we go one, we go all bollocks. Hope he dies in a ditch on fire, prick.
And thus James Facts is skewered for another time.
Right. Again, as you might expect, a lot of 10 out of 10s for this, for people not fully getting, like, the writing funny reviews for terrible things is better. But I'm going to go with the 1 out of 10s because...
Do they all subscribe to my podcast?
Possibly, yeah. I think one of them is We Hate Plenty. 7,426.
One thing we learned from Plenty.
1 out of 10. Blew my mind how bad it is by Findanowskid21. By far the worst movie I have ever seen, and I regret every second of it. All this because of my beloved teacher. Don't know what that's about, but
Wow.
his teacher's gone, watch this. You like when they wheel the telly in at Christmas?
Was it
and
his
you get-
octopus teacher?
And then 3 out of 10 by Jake Diesel. So there we go.
Oh, yeah.
This movie was pretty rough. It was possibly the worst rip-off of Home Alone.
Piss off.
Pretty sure it made me want to defenestrate myself. But it could have been worse. It could have been a remake. Zing! Right there at the end, Jake Diesel. Coming at you.
Defenestrate?
Defenestrate.
Yeah, defenestration. Famous.
Oh yeah, I'm just trying to think of
famous
the pun, that's all.
Oh, no, I just think he'd learnt a big word that day.
dog fenestration.
I would rather be castrated. I don't know. Anyway, but then I thought, 10 out of 10. Genocidal dogs that belong in The Hague by trustworthy reviewer 27. So you know he's trustworthy. This movie is absolute phenomenal. The end scene is, and I'm not joking nor lying for attention, a wide shot of the living room with 3 dead burglars. Home Alone violence is kicked up to 10. The first burglar is, and I have no idea how this is true, drowned in the shower. He isn't. The second burglar, who looks like Tom York, is lit on fire and then hung over the fireplace, like Benito Mussolini.
There's a lot of similes doing a lot of heavy lifting.
The third is killed via electric from a toy set and is thrown against the wall with a noise indicating a neck snapping. There is a bone crunchy noise there. All 3 are dead in a wide shot at the end. Maybe he saw a different version that we didn't see. And I must say, I enjoyed it. Truly one of the best movies I have ever seen. Do not put this on in front of kids for the love of God. Charcoal burnt Tom York is enough to scare a grown man. I don't know. Maybe
this film has done weird things to all of us that have witnessed it.
Christmas,
this is like The Ring.
Horrible. Yeah. I mean, that's it. There is no more.
Ruined Christmas for everyone.
We've only got 5 more non-Christmas months to go before we get back to this shit.
It's fine. Well, we've got 5 months to find better Christmas films. In conclusion, that was 2013's Alone at Christmas, or fucking Bone Alone, or Das Hund, or whatever.
It's the Schweinehund.
Catrapaw's Don the Noel. I don't know. I would say your favourite line from the film?
Bone Allen's house.
That's not maybe in the German dub. I don't know. There's only worst Christmas ever. That's the only line I can remember from this.
I've got nothing. Hot sauce facial.
There we go. Say goodbye.
Bye.
And now memory from the way we were on skis.